This is Tomi Joutsen from Amorphis, and you are listening to FANTASM Podcast.
Phantasm.
Maximum terror.
That's your target audience, baby!
Phantasm.
You know something? I sort of enjoyed it.
Phantasm.
Sell the metal! Sell the metal! Sell the metal! Sell the metal!
Phantasm.
Hey, this is Dr. Vincent West with the FANTASM Podcast, and today I have not only one of my favorite vocalists from one of my favorite bands, but this is the first time we've ever had a member from this band on our podcast. We're celebrating our 6th year of FANTASM, and I'm so excited to have Tomi from Amorphis on, and we're going to be talking about their amazing tour they're doing right now, and we're also going to be talking about their new album, Halo. Thank you so much for doing this. How are you doing, my friend?
Thank you for inviting me. I'm doing just fine. Now we are at Denver. We should play today here a show, and actually today we took a long walk and checked out some cool stores and had a good lunch. So really enjoying being on tour again.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for doing this. And I just wanted to start out, for our listeners that are maybe not familiar with Amorphis, can you talk just briefly about how you got involved with the band?
Well, I guess it was like 16 years ago I joined the band, and so I'm not the original member, but I've been quite a while on a band. But when I was like teenager, like 15, 16, 17 years old, I was a big fan of Amorphis. I really loved the albums Scary and Isthmus and Tales from the Thousand Lakes, and I just played in local bands. I'm a little bit outside from Helsinki scene. I'm living like an hour car drive from Helsinki, and I saw some stories in some magazines, music magazines in Finland, that Amorphis is searching a new singer, and I didn't have any plans to go and ask if I could be a singer, anything like that. It wasn't my case at all. But a friend of mine, he knew the guys from Amorphis and introduced me for them, and so we had a date, kind of. I went to their rehearsing place and we played a couple of songs, and they liked my style and my roles and stuff, and that's how it happened.
Nice. Well,
first album with Amorphis was Eclipse, and I've been a singer after that.
Such a great record, too. Eclipse was such an awesome album, and I love the introduction of your vocals into the band. I think it gave it so much more dynamics on all the records, including the new album, Halo, which you guys dropped a few months ago. Just to kind of jump into that, any standout tracks for you on the Halo record that you enjoy playing, maybe live, or just personal songs for you?
Well, my personal favorite is the song called The Wolf, and we are not playing that song live, which is kind of sad if you ask me. Let's see if it's going to happen later on this year, but that's my favorite song because it's kind of simple metal song. It got great metal riff,
right,
and also really beautiful sentimental vocal part in the center, and that's really powerful song. That's my favorite. We'll be playing like 5 songs from the album, and some of the songs are quite progressive, and we've been struggling a little bit with those. But I guess after this tour, they are going to work pretty well. But so everything is trying to remember how to act on stage and how to, just how is it to be on the road again.
Absolutely, sure. With such a vast catalog, I'm sure it's hard to pick songs to do for a live set as well.
It's a problem, but I think it's a positive problem. We have so many albums and so many like classic songs that some fans love to hear every evening, but we're just trying to pick songs that we like, of course, and the songs that works the best on stage, because sometimes some songs just don't work that well when you are on stage.
Sure.
That's really weird.
Absolutely. One of my favorites from the last record was you all performing The Bee live. That's such a great live tune.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Yeah, I think that's...
Yeah,
it makes.
Still playing.
Are you still playing it?
Yeah, I think it's the strongest song from the previous album, in my opinion, and we're still playing it. And it's something that created new fans for us, I think. The video wasn't like spectacular, but it worked perfectly with the song. So it gave a great picture of the whole album, and I really love it.
Oh, it's an amazing track, an amazing record as well.
Yeah.
As far as Halo, did you all spend a lot of time recording this record, or was it? Did you all do it like during the COVID and whatnot, or was it before that, or?
Well, we had some plans before we started to record the album, and there were plans to travel to Sweden to do everything in there, but because of the COVID, we recorded mostly in Finland. My plan was to go to Sweden for 3 weeks, but in the end I recorded everything in Helsinki, and it was different, and at the same time it was a little bit more relaxed because I didn't have to travel to Sweden, and I think the COVID situation was a little bit worse in Sweden than it was in Finland. So I was really thankful that I had a chance to do my stuff in Helsinki. It took really many hours and days to record everything, but it was worth of it. And Jens Bogren, who produced the album again, he did a great job, and I think everyone in the band also gave their best. So it's a really pure Amorphis album again.
Absolutely, it's wonderful. And as far as for you, for when you go in to record for like a new album, is it, as far as vocal arrangements, is that stuff you work on? Just is that a long process for you when you're working on vocal arrangements, or?
Well, in our case, it's a really long process because we have like a person outside the band who is writing all the lyrics for us, Pekka Kainulainen. We've been working with him with 5 or 6 albums.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember. But he's like an extra member for us, and he always writes all the lyrics in Finnish. So then we have to translate all the lyrics, and then we have to put the lyrics and the melodies that I have in my mind together. And it takes lots of time, and sometimes it gets in your nerves also, because sometimes the lines are really complicated, and it's almost impossible sometimes, but somehow in the end everything works. But when you start to do the new album, you just start to remember, okay, this is horrible again. It's gonna take days and hours to finish everything. But when I'm listening the final album again, I'm really proud of what we did, and I think we did a great job again.
Yeah, it's a wonderful album. As far as the artwork for the new album, can you talk a bit about that?
Well, normally we just have some rough ideas, and we always want to give the artist like free hands what he wants to do. We always want to put something, some symbols or something from Finland for the cover, and that's what happened also with this album. And the French artist Val Noir, who did artwork for this album, he did a great job. And I think when we have worked with him during many years now, we kind knew each other, and we can trust that all the ideas will be beautiful and interesting. And he's really one of those artists that he has really strong opinions about his stuff, and sometimes we need to talk a little bit about ideas, and it's not always easy, but on the other hand, he's a great artist, and we can trust that in the end it will look beautiful.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It really complements always I think your all's artwork is very interesting and it's thought-provoking and whatnot. As far as the recording process, was it a long recording process for Halo?
Well, it's hard to say because I don't know how many days we worked, but it happened. I think everything took like 6 months or something. Of course, we didn't work every day, but when we started, we had like over 20 songs, I think,
wow.
demos, and then Jens Bokeren picked like 13 songs or something, and then we really started to rehearse and do some arrangements and stuff. So kind of it was a long period, but at the same time we didn't work that much together as a band, so everyone has always his own he can do his own stuff in a good time, and they can really, or everyone in a band can really concentrate on their parts,
right.
Which is great, of course.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's amazing. Any other tracks besides The Wolf that kind of fond of for you?
Well, I think Nordwards, the opening track, it's really powerful, and we are opening our shows also with that one.
Fantastic.
And the last song is it's a really beautiful ballad and a duetto with female vocals, and that's also something really different and something that I really love also.
Well, it's a wonderful album. I really like it.
Thank you.
Like I said, ever since you joined the band, I just feel like there's, and I love the band's back catalog, but from Eclipse forward, I'm kind of an odd one out. I discovered the band once you were already in it. So
okay.
I'm a huge fan of your vocals. I think a lot of people do not deliver the way that you do, doing the melodic and then the death vocal style stuff, and I think you're fabulous at it, and I love listening to the albums because I think it adds so much more depth to the music with your vocal range. So that's been fun over the years listening to you as a fan, just develop as a singer, and just how much your vocals add to the records. I think is just it's a lot of fun sonically to listen to. So
thank you.
Of course. And then you guys are on a fabulous tour right now. Tell us about that.
Well, as I said, we had a long pause. We didn't play any shows. We did some. We tried to do something in Finland, like some festivals. Only few festivals in Finland.
Right.
And so we've been struggling. Like, if you're doing this kind of things for living, and all of a sudden everything disappears, you have to figure out something else. And
sure.
As I had to go back to day job, I still work, and it's fine. It's something different, and it's good to understand how privileged you are if you can do music for living. And I really hope that we are slowly going back to that situation. And but the tour itself, it's been nice. I think some of people still are a little bit afraid of coming to the shows, and at the same time there are so many bands touring at the same time. So for the fans, it's a tricky situation also if you are not sure do you want to go to the show because of COVID, and at the same time some venues might have like 6 shows in a week.
Right.
It's pretty sure that you don't have money for everything, you know. So that's something we have faced on this tour. But the package is really, really fantastic. I think all the bands are a little bit different, and the music it's different, but all the bands are great. So the package it's really nice, and other bands, they are great dudes and ladies. So everything has been really smooth so far. So no big drama or anything like that. So it's been nice to travel with those wonderful bands.
That's fantastic. Are you guys planning on doing a lot of the summer festival stuff in Europe?
Of course, in Europe we have, I think we have like 20 festivals during the summer. So it's going to be fantastic. And we have also plans to do a European tour in the end of the year.
Awesome.
And next year, I don't know what's going to happen next year. Of course, the COVID is still going on, so I don't know what happens. And also the war in Ukraine, I think it might make things more difficult.
Sure.
In the near future. I don't know.
Well, I'm glad you guys are out there touring again. I guess I haven't seen you guys play in 4 or 5 years, I guess was the last time I saw you. But yeah, it's you guys put out such great music, and to see the band live is just it's a beautiful experience. I was actually watching some footage of you guys from Wacken from like 18 before we did the interview, just kind of get pumped up listening to you, because it's been a minute since I've got to see the band, so it's
okay.
You know, because it hit me like I'll tell you a funny story. I haven't been to a show since before COVID happened, so I haven't got to get back out there yet. The last show I saw was like February of 20, so yeah, I've got some plans to do some stuff, but we'll see if it actually comes through or not. So I don't know. I've got a lot of health problems, so I have to be real careful about it. Kind of like what you were talking about. You have to kind of, not just financial, but you have to pick and choose. It's like, am I going to be safe at this? Is it, you know, so it's
Yeah.
It's kind of wild. As far for you as, do you have a particular favorite album that you've performed on with Amorphis? Do you have a favorite, or?
From Amorphis?
Yep, from the whole catalog that you performed on, do you have a favorite?
Well, I guess my favorites are the first 2, Karelian Isthmus and Tales.
Nice.
They are like a soundtrack of my, you know, young adulthood or something like this. I used to party with those albums in summer festivals and like banging my head with my friends and drinking beer and stuff like that. So I think they are really unique albums, and of course they have been recorded like 30 years ago, something like that. So the sound is not that high quality as it is nowadays, but still, that's part of the magic, I think. And I think Tales is one of the most important death metal albums of all times, if you ask me.
Absolutely. What about, though, of this? See, my favorite record, I love Queen of Time. I think Queen of Time, you guys just destroyed it. That out, the B, I mean, I've listened to that so many times. And then Eclipse. I think Eclipse, like, as far as like the stuff that you know that you're on. I mean, man, I'm a huge fan. Seriously, I've been a fan ever since. And then Silent Waters, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I saw you guys at Prog Power when you played in Atlanta on that. And then yeah. So yeah, it was funny because it's interesting because I had to go back and listen to the earlier stuff because I got introduced to the band when you were already in it. So it was like. It was interesting for me to go back and listen to the albums, and they're great stuff.
Yeah, it's great stuff, but it's a little bit different, of course. And for some people who haven't listened to those albums, I don't know how they sound for them. But for me personally, the Amorphis sound is like how it sounds in Tales from the Towns Lakes album. It has everything, like really down-tuned guitars and mid-tempo death metal and those nice melodies going here and there, and of course Tomi Joutsen's really deep and harsh death metal vocals. So it's really classic stuff.
Absolutely.
But I can understand that it's for some people who like our poppish songs like Silver Bride or House of Sleep, that kind of stuff. I guess those 2-3 albums, they might sound a little bit too much, so to speak.
Sure.
But I'm a big fan of old school death metal, so that's why I love those albums.
Absolutely. We are as well here at Phantasm. That's our big thing. But yeah, I don't know. There was something about when I got, because the first album that I ever got from Amorphis was Eclipse, and I was just curious, what you, of the stuff that you've played on, though, do you have a favorite of the stuff that you've performed on? Like, as far, it's more just probably the first two, or would you still?
I don't know. It's difficult because every album is different, of course, and every album has a couple of great songs. It would be a lie if I say that I love everything that we did with Amorphis, all
sure
previous songs,
Right, absolutely.
But, even the album called Far From the Sun, which is something that the band members doesn't like that much. I think it has great songs. It's different, and some of the songs in that era are really progressive and different. But it's nice that this band has been really open-minded with music styles, and it has a great backstory behind, and it's nice that you have lots of records and lots of gigs, so you can really think or say that this is not the biggest band in the world, but still we have a big handmark in metal, and that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, I think with every record, you guys just keep getting more exciting to listen to, because I'm not really a track person. I'd rather listen to a whole record, and there's so much there to listen to with Halo and with any of the catalog. It's so much fun to just go through all that stuff. Well, Tommy, thank you so much for taking the time to do this, man. I hope we can do this again sometime. I'm sorry about the confusion yesterday. Not really sure. I think the time frame was off where you guys were behind me and whatnot. I'm in Florida, so.
Yeah.
Dude, thank you so much for doing this. I wish you guys all the best out there.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Phantasm.
And you know something? I sort of enjoyed it.
Phantasm.